Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Cole.
My name is Az.
And we are PodVulture. This is PodVulture episode 5. Can you believe that we have actually stuck with something? I feel like it's likely because we don't have a fucking choice at this point. We're not allowed to leave the house. And the only reason we've carried on with this is because this is our life now. Indoor life.
All I seem to do these days is talk to this and not people.
Yes. Exactly, and I think that's probably the best
here
way
on my
to
screen. This is good. I can see
You've
your
got
face.
me over here, around somewhere.
I can see your face. That's something.
Yeah, and at least you've been speaking to other people for your other podcast as well. So it's not just me that you've had in your ears.
Yes, that's very true. It's different. It's different doing.
I can imagine it is different.
It's very different.
Change of pace.
It's not you. It's normally always you.
Oh, sorry, I'm really sorry. But yeah, if you haven't already, just to plug up front, Az does several podcasts with several people.
You say several. I do two. I do this with you.
You do two with several. So
okay.
You do this with me, and you do the podcast as well, which is with yourself
just
and
myself.
Others sometimes.
And this.
But I'll just give that a quick plug.
Thank you.
I mean, early doors.
You plugged me early twice now, and I'm like,
I know.
He does love me.
Speaking of being a trendsetter, how are you doing? Are you mentally okay?
Oh, I forget. We've got to start with a check-in, haven't we? I am.
Yeah.
I am. No, I'm good. The beginning of the week was a bit of a funky old start. Don't know why. It was just like it sort of hit me this week. I'm like, I just want to see my friends. I just want to get out of the house. And I think it's the weather as well and stuff like that.
We are experiencing beautiful weather. Although it is supposed to crash a little bit tomorrow potentially, and we're supposed to have thunderstorms and supposed to get a little bit less. But I mean, if the park today was anything to go by, we're not in lockdown. Who knew?
Oh, is it bad?
We were told to leave. Oh, it was so bad.
Oh.
It was so bad. Like, zero social distancing going on as well. God. Everybody's just like, fuck this. I'm bored of it. And so I'm pretty sure, well, I'm fairly adamant that during the autumn we will see peak number 2. And we should brace ourselves for that, which is wonderful. And a lot of doctors are confirming this as well. Is probably going to
I did see something yesterday. I've kind of been avoiding the noise. The noise? It is noise. The news on it a little bit because I feel like you can fall in too much of a pattern of just being stuck in the news.
It's so depressing as well. And I know it's easy to like say, oh, the news is so depressing and stuff, but it's good to keep abreast of what's going on.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah,
at the same time,
exactly. Especially in a time like this, you need to be.
I've been consuming a lot of different podcasts about what's been going on. Not even necessarily the podcasts themselves about what's been going on. It's just everybody's talking about it, and you can't avoid it.
We're not like a podcast that's about stuff like that, but we're still talking about it now because it's like it's on the tip of the tongue. It's even with the podcast. It's like I always start with like because obviously sometimes I haven't spoken to the guys or gals that I'm speaking to for a little bit, and it's like, how have you been? Like, how are things? So
exactly. I think it's important that we're checking in with everybody, but I think it's also important to bear in mind that nobody knows where this thing's going to end, and I doubt, if anything, it is going to end. It will probably become more of an endemic than a pandemic, in the sense that it is a reoccurring thing that just keeps cropping up. And
until we've got like a vaccine or whatever, then it is going to be that, isn't it?
You look at something like the flu, which has a vaccine but still kills millions of people every single year. Yeah. And it's effectively very, very similar. I was listening to a really good podcast from a guy called Tony Robbins, who you may or may not have heard of, podcast listeners.
I have heard of him. Don't know his stuff.
He is a very inspirational. He's a very large man, but he's a very inspirational man. And he does all sorts of like life coaching and that kind of thing. But he has a really good podcast in which he talks about coronavirus, gets loads of different doctors in, and just kind of discusses what we aren't necessarily being told and that kind of thing. Yeah, he doesn't, not from like a conspiracy theory level or anything like that, but just this is the way that the media is shaping everything. Yeah. Whereas this is how it is in reality, and like the numbers are inflated and all this kind of stuff, just as a means to try and act like we know what we're doing, but in reality, we need to accept
don't. I mean, it's new. I mean, the whole thing is new. I mean, I had a meeting with work. Well, I don't even know if I can talk about it actually. Saying that, but
like GDPR.
I don't think it was. No, it was nothing like that. It was just more about moving forward and how we're gonna go on with like working in the office or not working in the office and stuff like that. Like that's all up in the air at the minute. Like the way we're working and stuff is gonna completely change. Like nothing's gonna go back to normal or at least for a long time. Like back to where we were, if ever.
New normal.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. Everybody's talking about the new normal and when we can start reconnecting.
I hate hearing that now. Oh, yeah, this new normal. It's like, oh, fuck off.
This is the new normal where nobody really knows what's going on. But thankfully,
we're just existing. Let's just go with that.
I mean, we haven't known, you and I haven't known what's going on for at least 10, 12 years now. So we're in a fairly good position in this environment where nobody knows what's going on. At least we're mentally prepared.
We've not known what we've been doing ever. So
yeah. Exactly. So we're just like, okay, cool. Now everybody is on our level. And maybe that's why putting out content is more important than ever.
It's we've got more free time to do stuff like this and whatever, and it's like a weight event, and it's just something to entertain yourself.
That's the thing.
And it's nice hearing people like feedback on either this or on the podcast and stuff like that, and have people say, "Oh, I really enjoyed this episode" or whatever. And it's just nice to hear that and like to think that it's like giving someone a little chunk of entertainment. You know what I mean? If it's someone's listened to an hour of this or an hour of that, and they've enjoyed it, then great. Like that's helped someone chill out for an hour or whatever. So. Cool.
We have seen a lot of really positive feedback coming through from listeners, from the guys listening at home, and it's really great to see as well, because this is something that we always ummed and ahed about coming back, and I said this in the first episode. We it was just a case of when, life forced our hand a little bit with this, but I think now that we're doing it and now we're in the swing of it, and I can see that people are enjoying it. It's something that I enjoy doing, and it's super important to have that. Obviously, especially as you do like two of them, but it's super important to have that. I mean, it's also so easy on the flip side of that to look at what everybody's doing on Instagram, and everybody has things now where they're like, cool, painting or exercise, or they're throwing themselves into these things. And if you're not in that camp,
it's like a bit of a culture now. I keep seeing like on Twitter and stuff like that, people saying, "Oh, you don't have to have content to be relevant and stuff like that." And like, I didn't even realize that was a thing. Like, I literally wanted to make content because I've just always been interested in making some sort of entertainment.
We have these conversations anyway. That's the thing. Like, these are organic conversations that we have on a regular basis when we're not in lockdown. And so it's a case of, okay, why don't we record this? And I think when we first started the videos, that was really the ethos. Was like, we go to see movies. We get our reactions.
Yeah, exactly. We're both pretty savvy with cinema and like stuff like that. We've got opinion. At the end of the day, anything that's out there is just opinion. You know what I mean? We have opinions. We watch a lot of stuff. We feel like we could have an informed opinion on a lot of stuff as well that we talk about. So it's not like
you can derive enjoyment and a lot of the content that I consume on YouTube and podcasts and things like that. You can derive so much enjoyment from hearing other people talk about things that you might be interested in, or you might not have been able to get into yet, or you might sort of want to start getting into. And I think the more content that's being churned out within these last couple of months that there is, it's broadened my entertainment horizons for sure. And we'll touch on a few of the things that we've been playing and reading and doing and listening to and stuff. But like, I feel like I'm consuming a lot more, and that's no bad thing. I feel like the consumption leads to me wanting to talk about stuff more, and being more passionate about those things as well, because it's so hard to dry out at the moment. And like, I think for you, again, saying at the beginning of the week where you're just like, I want to see my friends and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
I had a period like that a couple of weeks ago where I began to kind of just dry out. And I was like, okay, like, who am I in this environment? Yeah. What can I still do to be passionate about the things that I enjoy and to focus on the things that I love and speak to the people that I like to speak to on a regular basis about just normal stuff, about fucking video games and
that's it. It's like through this as well, is like, as much as I'm consuming a lot of entertainment, like I'm just trying to just have conversation and stuff like that, just constantly, because it's just like I'd rather sit and talk with people all night than sit and watch telly all night. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's just,
exactly.
How I'm wired.
You don't feel like
hence I do two of these. I just don't shut the fuck up, basically. So I need to
talking too much, if anything.
I need to exhale a little bit.
Yeah.
Sit
and take a breather. But I mean, yeah. Sorry, that was a very, very lengthy response to my question of how are you. But you're doing all right.
Well, a lot of that was you, but I'm fine.
Hijacked you a little bit.
No,
there.
I'm good. Are you good? I'm guessing you're good. You sound good.
No, I'm doing okay. Yeah, I'm in a good place. Mentally, spiritually. Spiritually.
Your chi is in balance.
My chi is very much in balance. I'm very zen.
I'm very hot. It's very hot today.
It's so warm. It is very, very warm today.
I'm good, but I'm hot.
Yeah, and I've been struggling to sleep really badly as well. A couple of weeks ago, I was struggling to sleep just because of the existential dread, and now I'm struggling to sleep because of the heat.
Yes.
There's like a stark. You and your fucking fan remote there.
Yeah, I broke the back. This is upsetting. I broke the back.
Okay. Have you had the fan on? I haven't had to turn mine on yet, but I realised I've still got it.
Mine's on right now. I was about to crank it up, actually. Oh, wait, that's turned it off.
Full blast.
That's upsetting.
This is not high quality content.
Who gives a shit?
No, I'm doing good though, man. I'm good. Awesome. Still seeing the people that I care about. Still seeing you. Still seeing my girlfriend.
We haven't really seen each other. We see each other. No, but
this is nice.
This is nice.
I enjoy this a lot. So, we caught up really, really quickly. Just on what you haven't watched, because I thought I'd check in and see what you haven't.
Let's get to the real shit, and I'll just cut straight into it. Yeah. So let's get to the TV and the films and the games and the stuff. So obviously, if you listen to last episode, I was banging on that I saw the Empire 100 films that you should watch before you die, and I said I was going to watch, specifically Raiders of the Lost Ark and Last Crusade. I've watched neither of those movies, but that was because I was busy watching other stuff, which we'll get to in a sec. So
yeah, okay, fair enough. I won't judge you too harshly, but you still haven't watched any of Westworld either, or any more of Westworld.
Yeah, I don't know. It's funny. I just can't. I don't know why I can't. I can get into. I feel like it's something I want to get into, but I don't know.
To concentrate.
Like exactly.
What it is the concept of sitting and watching an hour of TV is
so here's
a lot.
Here's an explanation for it, I think, where I'll dive into one of the shows that I've been watching over the last week. So, probably what kicked off the bad mood at the weekend as well. So I binged season 1 or 2 of Afterlife. And the thing about that show is, in comparison to like Westworld off the bat, is they're really easy to digest, quick episodes. Like you don't need to, you don't need to sit there for an hour each episode and like be fully invested. Do you know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong, I'm still pretty invested into each episode, but they're like 26 minutes. Do you know what I mean? It's like real snappy, easy TV. Easy binge, as I called it. It's a very easy binge. So I binged both nights. Have you watched that? I know you're not big on Ricky Gervais.
No, yeah, I'm not a huge Ricky Gervais fan. Just in terms of his comedy career. So.
To be fair, nor am I. That's the funny thing. Like I will hands up now. I've never watched The Office. I've never seen Extras. I've never watched Derek. The only Ricky Gervais stuff that I really have ever liked is his Golden Globes speeches. His opening monologues, which are fantastic.
I will say, for me, not being a fan of Ricky Gervais, I do still think The Office and Extras definitely hold up. I think they are really, really great British television. My perspective, I prefer the US Office, and I always have. And it's one of those shows that I just repeat.
But it had a lot longer run as well. So, it had a way longer run.
And also it's just fucking funnier. Like the British one and British humour is British humour, But
yeah, but I was just say it's more cringe humour, like the British one, isn't it? It's more cringe.
It's like car crash TV.
I'm sure the American one's pretty cringy. I've never watched the American one.
It's very good. I've tried to. Me and our friend Emily have tried to get you into the US on several occasions because
it's a lot of episodes for the show. It's hard.
Yeah, I know you don't have to commit to the entire thing, but guaranteed, if you watch at least the first season, you'll be like, "Yeah, I'm in now. Cool. I may as well just watch all seasons back to back." But yeah, like Ricky Gervais, I enjoy him as a person, kind of like he recently did a podcast. Me talking about consuming shit. Recently did a podcast with Ricky Gervais. Ricky Gervais.
You did a podcast with Ricky Gervais.
He recently did a podcast with Russell Brand. Brand's podcast, which is also very, very interesting. You should give that a listen.
But he did bits and pieces now on Twitter and stuff.
Yeah, it's really genuinely very, very interesting. Listen, and like I enjoy his speeches and his ideologies and his concepts on atheism and all this kind of stuff and just his theology in general. But doesn't mean I like him as a comedian. I think a lot of British comedians are from around that time as well. Just a lot of British comedy, I think, just falls into the same template. Like Jimmy Carr, never really liked Jimmy Carr's stand-up. Oh, really? And I know that a lot of people are probably going to disagree with me there, but yeah. So for me, when this was first announced, when I saw the trailer for this, I saw the trailer and I literally was like, cool, this looks okay. And I added it to my Netflix list. It's been on my Netflix list since the first series came out.
Yeah.
So, and I know about the concept, and I know it would probably make me fucking miserable.
It's definitely one of the more miserable shows I've ever watched. It's funny because it's both absolutely hilarious at times and like bitterly depressing all in one go. It's very, very well written, and well executed as well. I have a theory that the first season, though, you haven't seen it, but I have a theory. I don't know if this has ever been asked or anywhere else, but I swear it's just Christmas Carol, the first season.
Yeah,
it literally it's just Scrooge. Like, it's just Scrooge, the first season. 100%. Because it's funny, because like, I hadn't watched it, and everybody was like, oh, the first season's so sad, it's so sad, like, oh, make you cry, blah, blah. And I watched the first season, and either, I know I'm not heartless because of the reaction I had to season 2, but season 1, like, it was sad, don't get me wrong. Like, it's definitely sad. Like, the whole, like, just the plot of it is sad. It's inherently sad and very real to a lot of people. But, like, as a thing that actually gave me an emotional gut punch watching it, like, I didn't feel that sad. Like, it didn't put me on the brink of tears. I'll cry at anything. Like,
we both will. We're pussies.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
legit.
I'm a absolutely open crier these days. I don't know what happened. When I was younger, I wouldn't cry at anything. These days, I'll watch Star Wars and feel like, oh god, I'm gonna cry. Oh god,
me.
Yeah. So yeah, no, the first season didn't really do that for me, and then I watched season 2. Oh my sweet fuck, season 2. Oh
in
my
the core.
god. The thing, because like I say, especially like at the ending of season 1, spoilers but not massive spoilers. It wraps it all up semi nicely. Yeah. And like I say, it's a very Scrooge-esque finish. Like, watch it. Like, so I recommend you watch it.
Oh,
watch it, and you'll see what I mean. It's a very like, oh, he's a dickhead the whole way through, and then eventually turns good. But then they were like, actually, we want a second season of this. Let's flip the fucking script a little bit, and then they go into season 2. But yeah, like season 2 really fucked me up. Like at the end of season 2, like I was crying my fucking eyes out at the end of that last one. I was just like, oh my god, this is horrible. This is so bad.
I mean, shit like that doesn't like.
It's that fucking legit. That's why it's worth watching now, because it's fucking visceral. It fucks you up, like because it's just the themes of it and stuff like that are so like anyone can relate to them. Pretty much anyone can relate to them easily. I think that's why it's like such a fucking like hard hitting show. Like I say, season 2, I feel like he ramped that up a lot. A lot of people said they preferred the first season to, but I actually think I preferred season 2 for just how sort of heavy it was.
Yeah. I think with shows like that, and with I know you're probably going to touch on normal people as well, but like I feel like you have to be in I feel like you have to be in a kind of like a place to be able to watch that first. You can't go in
normal people. Sorry, because we must get to it. So I loved Afterlife. Anyone who's listening to this, most people probably already watched it. I know it was like number 1 on Netflix for like 2 weeks or something in the UK, especially with the lockdown and stuff. So pretty much anyone who's even remotely interested has watched it, I'd imagine. Even when I watched it last week, it was number 4. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, you know, it's just mad. So yeah, no, it's definitely worth watching if you haven't seen it. It's really good. Like I say to you, even like ignoring Gervais, it's worth watching.
Yeah, it was worth a watch. Just the show. I feel like the only show that's really done that to me in the past is Master of None. Literally just throwing me through the sort of emotional ringer. Yeah,
that show. It was just as a dude in his like mid to late 20s. It hits home a lot, and it's like there's a lot of again you can reflect on a lot of stuff that happens in that show with your own life. Like, even if it's not, obviously nothing's one for one, it's always slightly different, but like, it's just like, this is too real.
You can insert yourself in
yeah, I could
things
drop myself in that and be like, I've lived kind of through that at least. So
yeah, we've spoken about Master of None so many times already. So like, I won't get into
won't get into that. But yeah, so yeah, Afterlife you need to check out. So to carry on with my really emo show watching, I haven't finished yet, but I did start watching Normal People because I was seeing a lot of people, some of our friends talk about it on Twitter.
Yeah,
and it was like a little buzz for it, just on the internet in general. And it's funny because this is going to be a more divisive show. Well, I don't think Afterlife's even very divisive. If you've seen it, it's great. But I've had a few people who have watched Normal People and were like, "Oh no, it's just boring. It's just boring, and it's just about a couple who shag all the time." And it's like, fair enough, that does happen a lot in the show. Like there is a lot of shagging, but it's way more than that. Like 100%, it's way more than that. It's a very interesting take on relationships in general, and like it's like a fucking case study on relationships and like how we interact with people and stuff like that. And yeah, it's really fucking
real. Really real.
It's really real, but it's an interesting one because obviously it's about one couple, sort of the trials and tribulations they go through over like several years, basically. But like, I think it's like the story really. It's like times in your life, though. Do you know what I mean? Like with different relationships, like it doesn't matter that it's the same couple the whole way through. You could be like, this was person 1, this is person 2, person 3.
Just an amalgamation of different
exactly.
types of
and just like the stuff that they go through and stuff like that, and over that time period and whatever, and different people that they meet and shit like that.
See, that's another one.
It's a really interesting love story as well. Like. And I'm a sucker for a romance, won't lie. Hence, I probably really like it. Sucker for a romance.
Yeah.
Aren't we all? Oh, yeah. It's such a romantic heart.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm a sucker for a fucking romance. And it's like, it's just really interesting, like, how these two people have, like, hooked into each other. And, like, it follows that, like, through this whole crazy story. I don't really want to give spoilers because it's quite new and you haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it. Yeah, from if you haven't.
But like for you, honestly, that's why I keep saying to you, watch it. I know you badger me to watch stuff all the time, but honest to God, this is a slice of Coleman, and you'll watch it and you'll be like, yeah,
because I'm a romantic emo little fuckboy.
Yeah, pretty much. But it's very it's very artsy.
I love a bit of art. Yeah, I'm drinking fucking homemade iced mocha out of a mason jar.
What did I call it a minute ago? Enhanced mocha.
An enhanced mocha, yeah. Out of a fucking damn jar because I'm hipster trap.
Yeah, it's
definitely.
It's quite
BBC,
artsy,
right?
And it's what?
Is it BBC?
It is all on iPlayer.
Oh, fair.
Yeah, I think it's on Hulu in the States. I saw.
Because
it's in 4K in the States, but it's not in 4K on the iPlayer, is it? It's fuming.
It's fucking dumb. We'll just download it in 4K from.
Well, I think Hulu. I think the States are behind us.
Okay.
When I looked, I saw there was only one. The first episode was up in 4K, but not.
Okay. Well, if I maybe I'll download the first episode in 4K, and then if I get desperate to watch more,
to be fair, you don't. Do you know what I mean? It's not.
You don't need it in 4K. It's not probably not that visually.
No, it's not. It's
fucking Avengers.
It doesn't need to be. Yeah, it's not the Avengers exactly. So
no.
But yeah, it's really good. I mean, I must admit, the first episode, I was like, it's got a bit of a. It's got a bit of a Japanese anime style to it. Not anime style. That's not what I mean. You know how anime characters just randomly grunt all the time, like.
Yeah, and they're just like fucking Final Fantasy VII, where they just cut to somebody and they're just like,
yeah, kind of thing. There's loads of that. It's like, what the fuck?
I know what to look out for.
I was like, but they're just. But this is the thing as well. Like, as the story goes on, you realise why these people are behaving like that, because you sort of start delving more into what their fucking damage is, basically, as well. So yeah, it's interesting because it's really funny. Like, I don't want to give away stuff. Like the evolution of the characters though is very interesting. So
okay,
yeah,
all right. I'll get on it this week then, and we can maybe chat about it next week.
Yeah, don't do a me where you're like, I'm gonna watch.
No, I'm just not, and just fucking don't watch it. No,
on the worst.
One thing I did mention. Mate, your shit. One thing I did mention last week during our podcast about franchises that should come back that I didn't actually expect to end up watching, but I did. Scoob.
Oh, yes, I wanted to watch this. I was going to watch it the other day, but I was feeling emo myself, and I was like, no, that's too happy for me.
So digitally, it was straight to digital release because they were going to release it theatrically, but obviously that can't happen now, so they released it digitally in the US. So I can't remember it.
You didn't? You watched it legitimately?
I watched it legitimately. We got purchased it. Honestly, a really fucking great film. And I know that everybody can turn around and be like, oh, Scooby-Doo, it's a fucking kids film. But that's Sonic.
I don't follow Justin Bieber on Instagram. But I was on Justin Bieber's Instagram the other day.
Right.
And he'd watched Scoob and he said it was really good. I was like, oh, Justin Bieber.
It's really fucking, honestly, it's really good.
Just
like,
to
the
clarify,
cast
I was only on his Instagram because a local dude obviously had his stuff posted through him and I was just being nosy to see if he shared it.
You were just like...
Oh, yeah, you know him, of course,
Yeah. But, yeah, so I honestly, going into Scoob, I'd only seen the trailer and thought, oh, this looks good, I'll watch it at some point. Me being Scooby-Doo fan. So I was like, yeah, I'll download it, I'll check it out. I've got, some time to watch a movie. And I was so fucking impressed. I was so impressed. The animation is unbelievable. It's a little bit jarring at first to get into it, but in the similar vein to like Spider-Verse, it has its own kind of style. It's very colourful and like oversaturated. There's some really deep Hanna-Barbera cuts in there as well that I wasn't expecting. Yes,
is Captain Caveman. He's Space Ghost in it.
Space Ghost is not. Captain Caveman is. Dick Dastardly is the main villain.
Oh no, I saw a clip of him saying, "Oh, my name is Dick."
Liam Muttley. I was like, "Oh, what the fuck?" My name's Dick. Honestly, so good. I had no idea who the cast were.
Dick with a D.
Dick with a D. Yeah. Do
you like my Scooby impression?
That was amazing. The most juvenile jokes that you should expect from a kids' film, but honestly, very, very funny. There are some real like adult cuts in there. As I say, the cast: Zac Efron plays Fred, Amanda Seyfried plays Daphne. Trying to remember her name but can't. Jane the Virgin plays Velma.
Who did Shaggy? Because I saw the dude who did him in the live action movie that
Will
we spoke about
Forte.
last week.
Yeah, Will Forte.
Yeah, he was pissed that he weren't fucking...
Oh, Matthew Lillard was pissed that he wasn't chosen to be Shaggy because he's been voicing Shaggy ever since he played Shaggy and thing. Will Forte takes over, and that, to be honest with you, is the most jarring part of the entire film. I couldn't settle into Shaggy's new voice because it's too like whiny.
Oh, really?
It didn't have that. It didn't have that Casey Kasem like gravel behind it. It was too annoying. And also, Scooby speaks a lot, as in like proper speaks, and that's a bit weird because usually it should just be like one or two words here or there, but he has like full blown conversations with people.
Yeah,
and it's okay. This is strange. Tracy Morgan plays Captain Caveman.
Oh, really? That's amazing.
Honestly, you should check it out. He says it in the film. Spoiler alert.
I'm glad you spoiled Captain Caveman being in it for me. I'd have lost my fucking mind, and you've blown it.
You wouldn't have lost your fucking mind.
I fucking would have. I used to love Captain Caveman.
Well, I apologise, but honestly, anybody that's locked down especially with kids, I've recommended it to a couple of my friends I know that have kids. Just put it on because you honestly won't be disappointed.
I watched it.
Yeah, I ain't got any kids, but I've fucking watched it. I watched it in the bath.
Great. It was real good.
I watched Scooby-Doo in the bath. But yeah, very, very good. Very enjoyable. Very funny. Very slick. Yeah, fuck you.
I thought I was the coolest man alive, and then I come and do a podcast review, and I'm like, I'm not. You're the coolest man.
No, sometimes I say things and I regret saying them, especially like in a tangible form. I'm like, I shouldn't.
Oh, this is going to be on the internet. Where anyone can listen. This
exists forever now.
It's in the ether.
I've got so many little clips from our videos.
I sang I'm a Little Teapot. What was I doing?
You did.
I was about 3 stone heavier as well. It was terrible. What was I thinking?
You're a mess, basically. Also, I mean, this isn't on my list of shit to talk about, but I really did quickly want to touch on news from yesterday, maybe, that they're making Scream 5 with the original cast.
I put a little tweet out about this, and I was like, fucking, I'm all in. Just give me it.
I'm sold in. I love the Scream franchise.
Same.
I know Wes Craven's not doing it this time, but like,
no, but whatever.
Apparently, the script has been read by like several people who say, "No, this is like legit. This is real good."
Well, I saw obviously they announced that David Arquette is confirmed. Yeah, he's the only original cast member who's been confirmed.
Confirmed, but they're trying to get everybody back. I would have thought that, you know,
because they have said it's a continuation. To be fair, I would have thought. I was actually a little bit surprised. I would have thought because it's been so long. I mean, they did Scream 4, which was again years later. I mean, that was like. I mean, when was that? Like 2014 or something that come out? 2014, 13? I don't know. I'd have to Google it. But it weren't a million years ago. But it was years after, obviously, the original Scream.
Years
in the early 2000s, late 90s.
They did the TV series as well.
Yeah, I never watched that, actually.
Nor did I. It's on Netflix. I think it ran like 3 series. I heard it was pretty good as well, but it wasn't like the original Ghostface. They changed the mask and stuff.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, but it was the same sort of vibe. But yeah, it's interesting they carried it on. Because
you're more of a horror fan than I am, but I think I'm definitely on board.
My favourite horror genre is slashers. Like I've always loved slasher movies. So for me, it's just like just give me them all. Like I've wanted them to do a Nightmare on Elm Street again for years now. I mean, they did that one with what's his name? Jackie. Is it Jackie O'Haley who was Rorschach? He's Rorschach
yes, yeah.
Yeah, he was. I think I've got his name right. Maybe. They did a Nightmare remake on that, but they went really gung ho with making him a fucking paedophile in that, and I was like, you fucking Jesus.
Oh, you just made him a really horrible boy.
This is the thing. It's like when they did. Here's a little bit of just history for you. So when they did the original Nightmare series, right, with Robert Englund, they wanted him to be a paedophile, but they were like, no, that's too. Because in the 80s, it was like, no, that's too much. Yeah. Whereas, like, obviously in today's culture and stuff, like, everybody knows the dangers of paedophiles and stuff like that. So they had him just be a child killer, which, don't get me wrong, is just real fucking bad. Still bad that he killed kids and stuff. But
he didn't fuck them. Killed them, didn't fuck them.
I say killed kids, he killed his own kid and stuff like that. But, yeah, and then, like, the parents basically killed him. But then in the newest Nightmare, they went all in, and, like, he abused kids at the school and stuff like that, and then the parents killed him. And hence he comes back to haunt the kids' dreams and kill them in their dreams and stuff. Which was it was true because that was what the original plot wanted it to be. But like,
Freddy Krueger makes it a little bit darker. It makes it a little bit darker, and he becomes like the ultimate. Like, this guy's just a really shit bloke.
Yeah, absolutely. It makes him a full villain. But then, like, as a fan of the series, it's like, but like, Fred's our boy.
Yeah, he doesn't diddle him.
Why have we made him a diddler now? Like, fair enough. Like, he kills them at least when they're in their teens in the movies. Like, you know, doesn't go around killing 6-year-olds.
Again, I'm going to shock you. I've never seen any of the Nightmare on Elm Street films.
I remember us having this discussion before.
We watched, Halloween. I watched Halloween for the first time with you here. Drank a bottle of rum, and that was a fun time, wasn't it?
That was good. We drank a bottle of rum. Oh, God.
The joys of non-lockdown life. That was enjoyable.
Didn't we go out after that?
I think we did, yeah. Back in the days of us going out, like pre us being 30.
Yeah.
You have a whole void of that evening. You literally just looked like you couldn't remember what was. There's a reason for that.
What?
Won't go into it on the podcast. But anyway,
oh God,
yeah, Scream 5, real good news. This is good. Moving quickly on to another thing that I have been watching that I did not want to miss out on talking about, and I know you probably won't care too much. The Last Dance on Netflix.
I do care because I actually really want to watch this. So I really want to watch it.
So fantastic. Right, okay. So like, I say right, okay, every time I'm going into like full Coleman.
Right, it's time to go Coleman.
So I am an NBA fan pretty much at face value only, just kind of modern NBA. And even then I dip in, like I call myself a Toronto Raptors fan, and I was very, very glad that they won the championship. I have jerseys, that kind of thing. But it's hard in the UK to really sit and be a fan because all the shows are on, all the fucking shows, all the games are on at like fucking 2 a.m. Or 3 a.m. So it's really hard to keep track of it. But that being said, I wasn't alive when Michael Jordan signed to the Chicago Bulls. I wasn't really any kind of sports fan or basketball fan back when the Bulls were at their height. And you don't have to be an NBA fan or even a sports fan to really recognize the talent that those guys had. And for me, Michael Jordan was always one of those people that was like, he had the shoes, he was the bloke from Space Jam. He was like what LeBron is now, and that's probably the reason LeBron is doing Space Jam 2. He is like the figurehead of basketball. He is basketball. He just transcended the sport. And so I was like, I went into it, you know, being like, oh, cool, a documentary series about Michael Jordan. But it is so fucking good. It skips through time between him first signing with the Chicago Bulls and like them coming out of obscurity and not being a great team. And then skips ahead into like later on in his career where he's got so much shit going on and like all the drama around management and coaches and all that kind of stuff. But it's 10 episodes, but it's genuinely so fucking fascinating that I easily could have watched more. They could have easily done more episodes on it. And again, now, like, me having not known about the Chicago Bulls, really, and Dennis Rodman, I knew Dennis Rodman, but I knew him as the crazy fucking guy that was good friends with Kim Jong-un. Scottie Pippen. Scottie Pippen, I only know through fucking NBA 2K games as, like, just a bloke that turns up every now and again. But honestly, I can't recommend it enough. Even if you're not a sports fan, even if you couldn't care less about the NBA, if you just want a decent documentary series to dig your teeth into and to really get to grips with why Michael Jordan is Michael Jordan and why he will always go down as being like the figurehead of basketball. And that obviously it sparked conversations about who really is the GOAT, like who is the greatest of all time basketball player. Is it LeBron? Is it Michael Jordan? Watch The Last Dance and tell me that guy isn't the greatest sportsman that ever fucking lived. Genuinely.
Do you know, it's really interesting. I've got to turn this into wrestling now because...
I knew you were gonna. Because sport.
No, it's funny because it's only just dawned on me, actually, the parallel between... Obviously, there's a big wrestling documentary that's just come out about The Undertaker, who's like the most prolific like wrestling character ever. Like, he's always been
coincidentally called The Last Ride.
Yes, I was going to say. Well, I mean, his finishing move was called The Last Ride as well, so, you know. Yeah. But it's funny how there's The Last Dance and The Last Ride out at, like, the exact same fucking time. Again, about potentially the greatest wrestler of all time in terms of character and things like that. And, like, a man who worked so hard to never let the public see his character. And now they've released this documentary. Again, it's the same thing. It's like, even if, as not a wrestling fan, I was telling you to watch it. Because I know you like a little bit of wrestling and stuff like that, but even people who I know used to watch years ago, like if you just even know the name, The Undertaker, like
everybody knows who The Undertaker is.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. It's like
it's the same way everybody knows who Michael Jordan is.
Exactly. But like this series is the exact. It probably will never get the acclaim of like The Last Dance because it's not. It's on the WWE network. It's not.
It's about wrestling. Which
it's funny because I was reading on one of the wrestling channel. Yeah, exactly. It's like I was reading on one of the wrestling channels the other day. It's like. It's a shame that this will never get the props that it deserves because, it's a fucking fantastic documentary, and it's because it's about like the twilight of his career and stuff like that, and seeing him finish up and like the troubles he's going through with like his body and like to wrestling for 30 years and stuff like that. But like, it is so fucking good. And it's that exact same thing of like, it's so good that it's like, it's worth watching regardless. It's just a great documentary.
The actual subject matter.
It doesn't matter. He's a wrestler. He could be Michael Jordan. Do you know what I mean? It's the same thing. It's like, you know.
And there aren't really that many documentaries that do transcend their subject matter. Like Tiger King was amazing because of Joe Exotic, because of the subject. Same with Making a Murderer. Yeah. It's exciting because of the story. But like something like The Last Dance and The Last Ride, you know, you really like it is just a balls to the wall journey and like a whole story and a ride.
That's it.
And I would recommend anybody to watch The Last Dance if you haven't already, or if you
I'm going to watch it. It's on my to-do list. So
good. Make sure you do. And I'll pick up The Last Ride and I'll give it a go, even though I cancelled my WWE Network subscription.
You can always get it free for a month. That happens all the time.
Okay, fair enough. I'll sort it out. That's fine. Well, I mean, we haven't really spoken about video games, and I wanted to touch on a couple of video games.
It's a funny time with video games because there's nothing out until next month, basically. Obviously, The Last of Us 2 is out next month. And then the Ghost of Tsushima is out the month after.
You say that there is a game that's coming out on Friday that I will speak about, but okay. I have been kind of recycling games. Game Pass is a godsend, and anybody that doesn't have Xbox Game Pass, like it kind of pays for itself. It really does.
Oh, yeah,
and I know there are so many like games streaming services that are trying to do a similar thing, but I think Microsoft have absolutely fucking nailed it with the content that they have on there, and also like
they're exclusives,
how regularly
like
they refresh their exclusives, that kind of thing. I mean, and games that I had on like my watch list to buy and was like umming and ahhing about buying them, they'll always go on Game Pass like a week later, and I'm like, fuck's sake. One of which was like I was umming and ahhing about buying Nier Automata for fucking ages. However the shit you pronounce it. And I didn't. And I'm really, really glad I didn't, because it's on Game Pass. Nier Automata. Very good game. I just finished my first playthrough of it. It's the most JRPG game you will ever see in your life. It is a fucking anime batshit wild ride, but honestly, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great. You're taking out fucking giant robots as a little robot woman.
As a little robot woman? Yeah.
As a little robot woman in a maid's outfit. It's strange.
Very Japanese.
Very strange.
It's Japanese.
It's very Japanese, but it's so good. And the fact that it's not just one playthrough and you're done. It is like fully replayable, because you play the first playthrough and then it's like, cool, you can now play through the same story as this other character from his perspective, and then play through the story again from this other character from their perspective. So there's like, there's like 150 odd hours of gameplay in there. If that's what you want to do, if you're doing side quests and that kind of thing as well.
Again, I was similar. I keep meaning to download it actually on Game Pass, because I've been meaning to play it for a long time and just haven't.
If you just want to play the core game, if you just want to play the base game and do the main quest and burn through it, probably about 10 hours. It's not that bad.
That's right.
But genuinely, there's so much. I've never seen so much replayability in a game. Almost to the point it's daunting, and I probably won't pick it up again.
I keep meaning to start Persona 5 on my PlayStation. I keep meaning to start that. That's on my list.
I know a lot of people that have
I've been playing a lot of Counter-Strike as well. It's not good.
Yeah, going back. Alan Wake is one of those games that I was talking to you about, because ACG did a video essay on it on YouTube, and I watched it. Even before he put that out, I was like, something compelled me. Something in me was like, you should play Alan Wake. It's always been one of those games, and bearing in mind it's a game that's fucking 7 years old now.
Got to be older than that, isn't it? It's older, I think.
It must be. Yeah, I played it whilst I was at university, so it's got to be like fucking 10,
2011, I reckon that came out. I'm guessing.
Fucking nuts. And I was like, I'll give it a go, because it's always been one of the only games that's genuinely petrified me. And I know a lot of people are going to be like, you're a fucking wuss, because it's not even that scary. I'm fully aware. I'm playing back through it now. I know it's not that scary. It just gets me. It really gets me. I'm like, there's something about being fucking chased down by dark demon people that you have to burn, and you run out of batteries and you have to shoot. Nuts. Anyway, we play it back through Alan Wake, and I'm really fucking enjoying it. Nuts.
That's awesome. Again, that's another one I've been meaning to replay for a long time, because I haven't played it in so long, but it's such a fucking good game.
The graphics still fucking hold up as well, legit. Like, I was so impressed when I booted it back up, and I was like, holy shit.
This is great.
Yeah, and actually, ACG's video essay.
Speaking of old games, and I know you're going to say that I still have your copy of this, but ordered the BioShock trilogy on Switch, which comes out.
You definitely still have my copy of this. You
fuck. You have my copy of
play it on Switch.
Collection, so. Huh? Why did I get it on Switch?
What? Yeah.
Because I'm a junkie for buying games, and it's the BioShock trilogy.
Yeah,
so I was like, BioShock, portable, I'm having it.
Yeah, but
not that I can go anywhere right now.
Play it on the toilet, you'll be fine.
Good idea.
Yeah, there you go. I know BioShock has always been one of those game franchises for me that's just, I mean, like, it is.
Well, they're doing a new one apparently. Like, that is in the works, but it's way off. Like, it's way off.
Yeah, there's not for fucking years, because they said categorically, and studio hell around the concept of doing it. They were supposed to be doing a movie at one point as well. Which that never took off. But I went back, and before I lent you my copy of the Ultimate Collection, I was playing back through BioShock Infinite, because it is honestly one of my favourite games. It's just
fantastic.
So good and visually amazing. Such a great story. It kind of hits all those bases. Yeah, enjoy that on Switch, you fuck.
I will. I'll post your copy to you. Your Xbox One copy.
You lent Final Fantasy VII to somebody else, so I'm mad at you.
It's yours next. It's fine.
Okay, cool. How many fucking people are you going to ship this game around? It's just going to catch coronavirus, and it's just going to be an absolute.
Wipe with a bleach wipe. Jesus, chill your nicks.
Yeah, the game that's coming out on Friday. You said there's not a huge amount coming out this month. There's not. There really isn't. Except
I lied though. I lied. The Minecraft Dungeons is out on Tuesday. That looks really good.
Oh, fuck yourself into a hole.
It's Diablo, but Minecraft. What do you not like about that?
Get fucked.
You like Diablo?
Right. Yeah, I like Diablo. I don't like Minecraft. I'm not 11.
But it's not Minecraft.
I could give less of a shit, to be honest. Crawler. I really couldn't.
Oh,
fuck. No, go
I'll go fuck myself. I'll go do it under the desk now. I'll go fuck myself right on this podcast.
Cool, you might want to turn your camera off while you do
I said under the desk. No one will see.
Okay, just see you vibrating just vigorously. Mania is out on Friday. You know that when I said that thing where I'm like, sometimes I regret saying things out loud. It was the little vibration
you did of it. Like, it's just an arm.
Mania is out on Friday. A game that not. Fuck off! You've gone. He's gone. If I were to say the word shark and RPG to you, you'd be like, "Yeah, cool, I'm in." That's it. It's the concept of the game.
What?
It's a shark RPG. You play as a shark.
Wait,
you level up.
No, it's a Sharpg.
Oh, fuck yourself into a hole! Don't give yourself a round of applause.
I don't know what that was. I was like wanking two dicks. No one can see that, but if you're watching, you can see. If you're listening, I was jerking the air. Sorry. Carry on. You shaking your hair. Your hair. What's your hair wagging?
My little strand of hair. Yeah, cool. So, Mania. You're a shark.
Mania.
You level up.
Make them work hard.
It looks fucking great because it's really... Well, can you stop this now, please?
Okay, I'll stop.
I'll give up. I'm not going to talk about this game anymore.
Please talk about it. I'll be quiet. I promise. Shush.
Oh, dead air. This isn't good.
Talk about the sharks!
Mania. I talk about sharks. I like sharks. I'm a huge fan of sharks. If I were to rank my favourite animals, it would be raccoons, sharks. I don't know.
Do you need a third? You only need two.
No.
Two is fine.
Having watched the Ghost of Tsushima demo,
foxes.
Maybe a fox. I like a fox. I do enjoy a fox.
I like little birds that fly me to nice treasure.
Fly you to the moon. Yeah. I love sharks. They're great. I think they're wonderful, and I think they're fascinating creatures. I love watching documentaries about sharks. One thing people might not know about me, one thing that I kind of keep to myself, because it's a little bit weird to be like, oh, I really love fucking sharks, man.
Do you like Shark's Tale?
No.
The movie?
Oh, no, with Will Smith. No, I don't like that movie. That movie is trash. Yeah, Will Smith's in Shark's Tale. He is the main character in Shark's Tale.
What do you know about Shark's Tale? Fuck you.
Jack Black's in it. That's what I know about it. Ziggy Marley.
Yeah. Ziggy Marley?
Ziggy Marley plays one of the... You don't come at me with like, oh, Shark's Tale, and then not know anything about the film.
I was just asking if you liked it. I didn't say I fucking liked it. I said, do you like it?
I don't like it, but I still know who's in it. I don't know why. I retain a lot of useless information. People probably know this about me just from listening to this podcast, to be honest. I don't even know what I'm talking about. Mania. I like sharks. I want to play as a shark. I want to eat people.
What's that coming out on?
PC, Xbox.
Everything. Okay.
PlayStation, everything. It's coming out on everything. And I got it pretty cheap. It's like only about 32 quid.
Is the Nelly Furtado song the theme?
What are you on about? The only Nelly Furtado song I know is the one where she says, I'm like a bird.
Oh, it's Nelly Furtado, wasn't it?
No, that's Britney Spears.
No, that's it's Nelly Furtado.
Is it? I don't know.
Don't
Google it. Don't Google it. You don't put it on. I'm putting it on. We'll get copyright struck. Yeah, I'm really excited to play Mania. I'm really excited to eat people. It would just be a laugh, wouldn't it?
It will. I think it'll be funny. I want you to tell me how it is.
I'm pretty sure you're right. I'm pretty sure it was Nelly Furtado.
It's Nelly Furtado.
Yeah, all right, fuck
Look,
you.
right here.
I don't know.
Nelly Furtado, number 4. Man-eater.
I don't keep up with fucking
She's
Nelly
a
Furtado.
man-eater. She likes to...
Was that the one she did with Timbaland?
Yeah, she did, because that's when she changed around, didn't she? She did "I'm Like a Bird" and was all nice and stuff, and then Timbaland was like, let's sex this up. And that's what
but Timbaland...
She did a song with Justin Timberlake, all sorts of stuff.
Answer me this question. Okay. Is the rapper Timbaland and the shoes Timbaland, are they
are spelled
related in any way?
No.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are. Timbaland, the rapper, is Timba, whereas Timbaland, the shoe, are Timber. Timber.
Because at school, everybody was like, "Oh, I've got a pair of Timberlands," and I was like, "Isn't he a rapper?"
Yeah, well, he is, but he's not the same Timbaland. He's not.
I'm like really ill-informed about several things, but very well informed about sharks.
Yes.
Who am I? Yes. Who the fuck am I? Get rid of me.
You are Coleman Shark Lilley.
What video games have you been playing, Aaron Joyce?
Counter-Strike. No one wants to hear about that.
You're fucking my boy. One thing I did want to touch on as well. I don't know how long we've been talking for.
50 minutes and 51 seconds for anyone who gives.
Well, then we've got about 10 minutes. Then, to be honest, you have never watched Community, right?
No, but they did a table read, didn't they?
They did a table read. They did a table read of one of their episodes, one of their really fucking good episodes, and they got all the original cast back. So Donald Glover.
They reread an episode that was.
They read one of the episodes. It wasn't a continuation of the story or anything.
Oh, sad.
They got Dan Harmon back in, and honestly, I've never seen so much chemistry between like everybody who works on a show. They fucking love each other. They like. It's so funny. It's so like dry. Everybody laughs just at the fucking dumb things that they have to say. Dan Harmon is an absolute genius writer. We know this from Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
But not only the table read, they also did like a 40-minute like after the show where they all sat and they just spoke about Community and all this kind of stuff. And they just take the piss out of Kenji Young constantly, and it's so great. The whole
thing for them was 6 seasons in a movie or something.
The whole thing was supposed to be 6 seasons in a movie. So the Community is probably my favorite sitcom, if not one of my favorite TV shows of all time. It's one of those things that I will continue to watch until the day I die. It is also one of those things where until the day I die. It was also one of those things where it hits season 4, Dan Harmon leaves, and the whole thing becomes an absolute shit show. It becomes a shit show very swiftly once Chevy Chase started to demand more money, started to be a prick to Dan Harmon. Chevy Chase is just a prick in general.
Was he on the table read?
No, he was not.
How do they do an episode? They do an episode without him in?
Because they took one of the episodes. Yeah, they took one of the episodes. They killed Pierce off in one of the series. They completely killed Chevy Chase off. After Dan Harmon had his falling out with him, they just decided to write him out and be like, cool, Pierce is dead.
Wow.
And I'm pretty sure it's like the episode after they kill off Chevy Chase that they did the table read for. And one of the characters in the show is played by Walter Goggins in that episode, and they couldn't get Walter Goggins in, but they got Pedro Pascal to play his part.
Oh, wow.
And you can tell Pedro Pascal has never read this script before as he's saying it, because he just loses his mind. It's honestly so funny. Like, there's so many lines in it where he just completely cracks up. But like Community, Parks and Rec, the US Office, these are all amazing shows that I can just recommend as things that you don't have to put too much thought into. I've gone back and I've watched the first couple of episodes of Community again today, just off the back of the table read, because I forgot, and it's so easy to forget how much you love it when the last two and a half series of a show are so bad, and like so bad. So it got, after Dan Harmon left and NBC didn't pick it up, it moved on to Hulu, and then Hulu decided not to carry it on, and it went on to Yahoo, back when Yahoo still had its own streaming service, or started to try and do its streaming service, and it just went fucking haywire. It was terrible.
Oh, jeez. That sucks. But did Gambino do it every season? Was he in it the whole time? Or?
He's in the first 4 series. First 4 series. And the episode after Chevy Chase leaves, Donald Glover leaves as well. Oh. So the episode they did the table read for was Donald Glover's
last episode,
second to last episode, I think.
All right.
But I'm so glad he's back, because honestly, Troy, Donald Glover's character, is one of the best parts about the entire show, and Troy and Arbid's, like his counterpart in the show, is that whole dynamic is just wonderful. And if you want a show that you can just sit and kind of switch off, but every now and again will just catch you with a one-liner, like a proper Dan Harmon one-liner where you're just like, oh fuck, and you will just go and crease and die. Also, I wrote so I love this show so much that I wrote my dissertation at university about Community.
Oh wow.
About the pop cultural references and intertextuality within the TV show Community. So I did a degree in television production, and I was umming and ahhing about what I could write 10,000 words about. And I was like, why don't I write it about something that I love that's a part of the TV industry, and like branching off from Community, and it's like pastiches and parodies of all these different pop culture things. There are paintball episodes that are like Western themes, some that are like parodies of Resident Evil movies and action and dark stuff like that. And like my dissertation bled on from that for just like references to pop culture within pop culture. It was shit. I got a 2-1.
Hey, 2-1 isn't shit.
Not too bad. But anyway,
it's only honestly, one grade higher. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you got fuck yourself. I was proud of my 2-1s. Fuck you.
I'm proud of my 2-1. I just
actually, just shit on you for my dissertation. I got a first, so fuck you.
I mean, like many things, you are first to come.
Oh god.
Oh god.
That's
anyway.
That's
same
thing. That's too real. I can't deal with that. This podcast isn't about that, Coleman. Damn it.
But yeah. Even if you haven't seen Community, watch the table read, because genuinely you'll just get a kick out of seeing like people who work together for a read. You're just going, what are you doing?
You just cracked me up with that. I wasn't expecting it. It's killed me. I'm just written off and sitting there chuckling to myself like, you're a fucking freak.
You're a child. Yeah, you'll get a kick out of watching people who clearly love working together, clearly like built a real good like foundation, a real good like friend relationship out of being part of the show for so long, and the way that Dan Harmon speaks to him and stuff, like they're all just really good friends. Very, very funny, and I would recommend that you watch that and that you watch the conversation they had afterwards as well, if you can spare like an hour out of your day. It's not even that long, to be honest.
Well, I'm not going to watch that because I should probably watch the rest of the show.
Honestly, you can watch it without prior knowledge necessarily of the rest of the show. But I think you should, like, if you want something to put on in the background and veg out. I know everybody's looking for projects and to be seen to be being real fucking fancy right now. But if you want to just put on Netflix and not pay attention, then Community is great.
This is as fancy as I get right now, and even this isn't that fancy. So
no, exactly. I feel like I've spoken a lot more than I usually do in these podcasts. I feel like I've shit all over you, basically. But then you do another podcast now, so this is my podcast.
This is the Coleman Show. I'm just the wingman.
Do you want to tell me when we're back?
We're back!
Oh, okay, cool. We're back. So just for reference, Az stopped the recording of the podcast because he's an idiot. Because it was talking...
I was talking...
Yeah, sure. It's because I was talking about commandeering the show. I even made a really funny joke about calling it the PodColest, and you missed it, you fucker.
Well, it's in there now. The PodColest, I like that. You should do another show. You could talk about...
I should do my own show, call it the PodColest.
You could talk about
and episode 2 should be about cats.
No, you can't have an episode about cats. I did a cat episode. You can't do that.
You don't have fucking copyright over cats. Carol Baskin does. We all know that.
Is she going to get me?
Yes, she's going to get you. Right, we better wrap this up because I've been rambling a lot, but I'll pace it back. Thanks for sticking with it for this episode, guys. This hour-long episode of me basically just talking. You can find us on social media, on Twitter at PodVulture. You can find us on Facebook by searching for PodVulture. You can find us on our respective Instagram platforms. I'm at We Are Coleman. He's at Aza__. He is waving like a terrifying nowadays Freddy Krueger. And yeah, so it's like we really enjoyed doing this. I touched on that really quickly at the beginning of this podcast, but this is something I really enjoy doing, and we've had some really nice feedback from you guys. We'd love to hear more. Like,
give me the praise.
Keep it coming.
I feed off your praise. It's how I live.
I feed off the blood of innocence. But yeah, so if you have any questions, if you want us to talk about something that perhaps you're watching that we haven't touched on, if you have any insight into any of the shit that we've mentioned, then do let us know, because we really enjoy talking to you. And the more people we can talk to, the less we go fucking insane.
Exactly. So if you haven't, subscribe, hit the notification bell. See you next time. If you're listening to this on Spotify as well, make sure you follow. That'd be great. That'd be so great.
Yeah, that'd be really good. Yeah.
Please do that. So until next time, guys, we are Pod or PodVulture, whatever the fuck you want to call us. Goodbye.
Goodbye.